Bobby Althoff misses her own daughter's birthday to interview Drake, and he absolutely grills her. Got a banger from Morocco TV. Let's get straight into it.
You missed your daughter's first birthday for
to be here.
Wow.
Dark. Regret that you'll never be able to undo.
Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
Where's your son?
Somewhere safe, and it's not his birthday.
It's not his birthday. So, whatever you want to say. Convincing myself to leave my 12-year marriage so I can finally be happy. Good for you, honey. I bet you're so happy being alone. I bet you are. I bet you're just only seeing my kids half the time, missing out on holidays with them, crying myself to sleep because of the financial and emotional stress of divorce after 1,298 other hard things. Aww. It's like you could have stayed married with your husband. It's like you could have stayed with him.
Nope.
And I decided
it's like you could have stayed with him, but you chose not to.
I was going to tell him that I wanted a divorce. I texted my therapist, our marriage counselor, and I was like,
That is the scariest sentence I've ever heard. I texted my therapist. Bro, if you are that close to your therapist, they're not doing a good job. Be honest. Nowadays, women use therapy as like a lifestyle choice. It's like, well, I go to therapy. You know what I mean? Me and my therapist are just really, really tight. We're tighter than airport security. No, you shouldn't be that close to your therapist. That's one of those things you go for 6 months and you're done. Chat, put one in the chat if you agree. Therapy shouldn't be a year after year after year after year thing. You shouldn't be in therapy for 5 years. 6 months to a year, you get over the problem and then you move on. A lot of these women use therapy as like a personality trait, and it's truly sad.
to tell him that I want a divorce, but I want to do it in a session so that there's like a mediator present. Got us in like ASAP, like 2 days later. And I walked in.
Of course she did, because she wants your money, dummy. Stupid.
Knowing that I was going to ask for a divorce. We sit down in our session. It's like really tense, really awkward. My ex was sitting there like, so why do we have an emergency session? Therapist was like, Jamie, do you want to start? And I just started crying and I was like, I want a divorce. You know,
bro, if your wife honestly threatens a divorce, just go ahead and do it.
it's hard for me to like,
I say don't play those games, because the thing is, the threats, they're just going to keep coming. They usually don't stop. She threatens it, cool. Like, don't fight for it. Most women want you to fight for it. Well, he didn't fight for me. He's supposed to fight for our marriage. No. You want a divorce, I'm out. Be an adult.
say the words. I'm done. I want a divorce. He sat there quiet. I'm sitting next to him crying. He didn't move. He didn't look at me. He didn't react at all. He just was stone cold. And eventually our therapist was like, would you like to respond? He responded right away and he's like, fine, let's just go ahead and finalize the details.
Smart man.
And that was that. I looked at my therapist and I was just like kind of stunned. I knew that I was ready to leave, but I couldn't believe that that was his reaction. There was no empathy. There was no compassion. There was no like wanting to fight for us. I didn't think that there would be.
I love it. What'd I say? No empathy, no compassion. He didn't want to fight. Why would I want to fight for somebody to love me? That's just dumb.
But you know, you just always hope that like one last try. We went home that night. We didn't speak. He slept on the couch. I woke up and went to work the next day, came home. He was playing PlayStation that night. I sat next to him. We hadn't talked in 24 hours. I said, can we talk about what happened yesterday? And he was just playing, just looking straight ahead. And he was like, what's to talk about? In my mind, I'm thinking, this is our last ditch effort to like steer this ship around, you know? And I was like, so what are we gonna do? And he just kept playing. And he was like, I already got an apartment. I already took my name off of the lease. He had done things within that 24 hours. He had opened up the filing folder of his single man life and went ahead and got all this shit done.
Just listening.
Good man. Don't make empty threats, ladies. You would think you would know that. See, us as men, we understand that because there's always a low-level threat of violence when men, like if I was to threaten, let's say I was to threaten one of you guys out in public, like, I'm going to slap the taste out of your mouth. There's a low-level threat of violence between me and you. Between men, we understand this. If we say certain things, if we're disrespectful to a certain point, we understand that the fisticuffs may start to fly, buddy boy. Us as men, we realize that. Women don't realize that because women can hit men and they can't hit them back. Women can threaten men and they can't threaten them back. Like, women are so used to being a protected class that they don't realize that when they make threats, men take that stuff very seriously, because us as men, if we make a threat, more than likely we're going to put some action behind it. Chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Jordan Peterson talks about this. He's like, the main point of it is with men, there's always a low-level threat of violence, but with women, there's no level threat of violence. It's not even a low level, it's a no level. Men know societally that we can't put our hands on women. I mean, most men. Some of these Gen Z kids, they think their hands are rated E for everyone. And they're like, and you get some hands, and you get some hands. Equal rights, equal lefts. I don't believe in that. I don't even care what happens. You don't put your hands on a woman. You just flee the scene. Get out of the conflict as quick as possible. But with men, we understand that. With women, they don't really understand that. So when these women that are in these relationships, in these marriages, they make a threat, men hear them and say, cool, I hear the threat. There may be something on the other side of that, so I'm going to make my decision, and I'm going to cut and run. It's either fight or flight. He's like, I'm taking the flight option, which good for him. Looks like he had some time with his PlayStation. He got his own apartment. He's probably going to have full peace of mind and be better off the next day, where she's just going to be crying, wallowing in sorrow. I wish he would have fought. I should have never said it. Because the thing is, in my opinion, in chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. I think the universe gives you like 3 strikes when it comes to having a good relationship and a partner that's compatible with you. If you strike out on those 3 pitches, what makes you think you deserve a 4th pitch, and a 5th pitch, and a 6th pitch, and a 7th, and an 8th? You really don't. The universe gives you 3. You get like 3 relationships, and if you don't try to hunker down and make one of them work, because let's be honest, relationships take work. Being single takes work. Being in a relationship, being with someone, being married is work. And I always say this, you got to choose your hard. Marriage is hard. Being single is hard. Being alone is hard. Because we're social creatures. We yearn for belonging. Whether you guys want to agree with it or not, it's like, no, I'm cool with being a loner. Most people really aren't. Maybe a small percentage of the population, but we thrive off of being together. You know why I know this? Because there's 7 billion people on this planet. If we thrived off being loners, there wouldn't be near as many people. I promise you that. We thrive instinctually, biologically on being... Look at the camera. I pay $700 for this camera and it does this to me. You kidding me, camera? Come on, I'm gonna have to get a new camera. It's killing my train of thought. But yeah, we yearn for belonging. We yearn to be in groups, and that's a thing, and it's very normal. I don't think it's abnormal. Let's get back to this.
It's officially one of the biggest and most important days of my entire life. Tomorrow is my divorce day, and
Congrats.
It's been a lot, to say the least. This moment I have equally dreaded and looked forward to, and the fact that it is now coming to an end officially tomorrow is mind-blowing. I cannot wait. I'm so impressed and proud of myself that I have been able to get through this divorce alone. To be 25 years old and doing something of this caliber is huge.
Something of this. Imagine bragging about getting through a divorce. Doing something of this caliber. Baby, doing something that you should be proud of is like getting your master's degree. Not going through a divorce. You just file some paperwork and get an attorney. It's not rocket surgery. It's not brain science.
I am the youngest out of my friends to be married, and now I'm the youngest out of my friends to be divorced.
Yay.
So I'm going to hold that with a lot of pride.
What? Stupid.
You're holding that with pride? What? Why? Why are you holding that with pride? That's like the last thing you should be doing. You shouldn't be holding any of that with pride. You should be holding that with shame.
Later.
Tomorrow's Christmas, and I'm just crying because of how hard it's been. I feel like I'm trying to prove to myself I can be strong. It's really like painful dealing with the loss of everything. Not having my husband.
Yeah, you're not so proud now.
That's crazy. I thought you were proud. What happened to that? I thought you said you were so proud to not have a husband and be divorced. You were going to wear it with a badge of honor.
Want to be independent. I don't need a man. I can do this all on my own.
A few moments later.
I just found out today that my ex-husband is engaged and I'm unwell. And like, even though, yes, it was me that was like, hi, I want divorce. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. It brings up all these feelings. It brings up all this like stuff. And we have a kid and it brings up all this stuff around him.
I bet she thought she'd get...
I thought you were happy, baby. You initiated the divorce. Why are you so mad? What are you so mad at, baby girl? You're the one that wanted it. You played yourself. You were the one that wanted it.
Single again. It's okay. You know, I've just come out of a marriage. So single. I feel good.
3 days later.
I'm doing really ugly crying. Because, oh, I didn't know my cat
Got your little cats running around? I called it.
was in here. Meow. She must have thought I was crazy. Oh, I'm just really realizing that my marriage is over and it's really bad. Oh, I'm really sad.
Even though I don't
love it.
want to be with him anymore, there is a part of me that wants him to still want to be with me.
Stupid.
And when I kind of think about like, what what gets me upset, or why am I so sad about certain things, of him wanting to also go through with the divorce, if I don't want to be with him.
A lot of these women file for divorce expecting their husbands.
Bro, what? Yeah, they expect their husbands to just fight for everything. All right, Loki, we got let's try the ribs. This is from the artist formerly known as Jeremy. Look at the striations and crustaceans on that. It looks really good. Loki, free. Sit. Wait. Can we get some freeze in the chat? Free. Go to your place. Those things are kind of heavy. Good lord. Sorry about the camera stuff, guys. I wish I could do something about it. I don't know exactly what is going on, so I'm going to have to troubleshoot after this video.
They want to be happier while the men remain.
When your ex-husband moves on right away and gives someone else all that you ever asked for while you're over here dealing with all the trauma he caused. Oh, no.
A miserable old woman. I don't think any of us do. You've seen those women out there. The women that are
I feel like I'm looking at one.
nattering and nagging their husbands, that are bitchy, that aren't nice, that seem to be so unhappy, and we think, oh God, I hope I'm never one of those miserable old women. That happens from raising a family, working, and then all of a sudden we're in our 50s and 60s and we have nothing. We don't have a life. We don't have a life separate from our family or separate from our husband. And so we resent everybody. I did it. Here I am. It's amazing. I feel like a different person already. I feel like I can do whatever I want, and I'm not responsible for anybody anymore but me. I don't know. Things aren't going that great. I didn't know. I guess I did know. I would have this really strong reaction physically, trauma reaction to finding out that my estranged husband has been having a new relationship.
They always want their man.
Yeah. God forbid he moved on from you, honey. God forbid. He didn't just sit there and just wallow in his self-pity like you did. God forbid he moved on.
So here it is. In case you didn't know, and this applies to both men and women, being cheated on is traumatizing as fuck. I was married for 21 years, and cheating was never an issue in our marriage. In fact, that was the least of my worries. I never had to worry about it. I never thought I did. I never had a feeling that I had to worry about it. Never on either side. And then I got divorced, and I come into the dating field, and it is a absolute shit show. And if I had any idea what I was getting myself into, I probably would have stayed married.
She had a husband, but he was...
I love it. I love it. The regret is so palatable. You can almost taste it in the air when these women talk about these things. Yeah, you should have stayed married. The thing is, marriage is work. If you're not going to work on the relationship, don't even get married in the first place. Anything worth having is worth working for.
On this, it would have saved me from a second divorce.
Good Lord, a second divorce? These ladies are collecting divorces like infinity stones.
Every choice you make stems from what you believe you deserve. After my divorce, no confidence. It was my mission to get into another relationship and fall in love.
Hypergamy.
I needed to prove to myself that my divorce was the right decision. I needed someone to make me feel like I was worth loving.
Stupid.
This is why I say fall in love with yourself before you fall in love with anybody else. Can you imagine this woman is probably nearing 40 still thinking she needs someone else's validation to feel good about herself? Baby girl, it's called self-esteem. It's the esteem of your freaking self. It's how you feel about yourself. Nobody else can make you feel better about you.
Stupid.
Lord have mercy.
I didn't know how to do that for myself. And when you're coming from that place of lack, you choose the wrong partners. And here's divorce number 2.
Another one.
You know, life after divorce. As a woman, I would honestly sit here and say, as much as I've made the decision and the choice to divorce my husband then, I also regret it. I don't regret it because I still loved him, but I regret it because I feel like I denied my children the right and the opportunity to have what people call a normal family. Now,
yes, these women choose their own happiness over their family's happiness, over their kids' happiness. It's all me, I, my. Chat, how many times have we seen this? The selfishness of these modern women thinking that all that matters is my own happiness in this. You have children. What about your kids? What about your husband? All they think about is me.
today I'm sitting with kids who are in the statistic of divorce. So as much as I've divorced, I would never, ever advise anybody to go through a divorce.
Let me know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's way better. Here's the question. Is it better for children if parents divorce or stay together in an unhappy or toxic relationship? Well, the thing is I think it would be better if you guys were better off as co-parents, in my opinion, as opposed to a toxic relationship. Because if you're in a toxic relationship and both your kids are seeing it constantly, that's what they're going to learn. They're going to learn, oh, this is the gold standard of what a relationship should be. So this is what I'm going to look for when I get a little bit older. As opposed to if you guys could be happily separated and co-parent well, I think that would be much more beneficial. As much as I would want you to stay together, as much as I would want you to stay together and be married, if you're just miserable all the time, then you're having your kids around in a miserable environment. Here's what you should do. You should nut up, stay married until they're 18, and then part ways, split ways, go do your own thing, but fake it till you make it. Try to play the happy family until the kids are grown and they get out of the house. Then go get a divorce, and then when you're empty nesters, you can go do your own thing. But as soon as you have a kid, you have an obligation to that child to raise them in a positive environment, in my opinion. Like, Cass and I hopefully will have kids one day. But when we do, like, our relationship matters first. But then we've also said it's death over divorce, and we said that before we even got married. But the kids need to be around in an environment that they see mommy and daddy loving each other, because when they grow up, they're going to go look for that. That's why I think, in chat, let me know what you think about this. I think men that are typically womanizers are from single moms because they realized how to manipulate their moms at a very early age to get, whatever they wanted, and this is mainly with boys. And then they saw their mom usually dating a lot of men, so they're like, oh, this is what my mom does. This is what other women want to probably do as well. So, I was a bit of a woman. I was promiscuous. I did my thing in college. I had my fun. But I think the reason I did it is because I was conditioned to think, oh, well, my mom's not in a relationship. This is typically what women want. And it was easy for me to manipulate my mom, who was way older than me. It was really easy to manipulate the women that were my age because they're on my same plane. I was years ahead. I'm manipulating a woman who's 20-something years older than me. Are you kidding me? I know what I'm doing. I'm 14, but I'm sitting there thinking like I'm in my 20s. And I always was told for my age, I was very mature, and I always hung out with guys that were 2 and 3 and 4 years older than me. So like, I have no good friends from my own grade. All my really good friends are a year, 2 and 3 older than me. All my really tight friends that I'm like super tight with now. And so I just remember those were the guys I hung out with. So I had a mindset that was on the same level or playing field as guys that were much older than me. But I don't know. I think it would be better if you guys could co-parent happily as opposed to be toxic at the house. But I think you have a duty as a parent to be happy. Fake it till you make it. You fake other things. You fake it at work like you're successful. Maybe you fake it on social media that you're in good shape. You fake it on social media that you're, really happy. And I heard about, there's a study out. I want to see couples that post on social media are unhappy. I think there's a study that came out. Happy couples post less on social media, and here's why. Really? Already? Everybody wants you to pay $5.99 for something. Everybody wants you to pay $5. What is going on here? Happy couples post less on social media. Here's why. What is she throwing up here? Goodness gracious. They live in the present. Is there any stats or numbers on this? Okay, let's just see what this says. It's only me who gets a little annoyed at images of couples. The greatest marriages are built on teamwork, a mutual respect, a healthy dose of admiration, and a never-ending portion of love and grace. They live in the present. They prioritize experiencing the present instead of letting others know about the fun they are having. They immerse themselves in the joy of the moment and create memories. They keep intimate arguments offline. They don't get into making comparisons. They don't rely on relationships to be happy. They don't feel obligated to prove their love. Chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. I think the happiest couples barely post on social media. You don't ever see me and Cass do it. I got 150,000 followers on Instagram. It'd be a great place to show off me and Cass eating dinner. Look what my baby did for me. Look what she's done. Just love her so much. Oh my God. We never do that. Her Instagram's private. She doesn't even post. We don't post on Facebook. Like, social media is my entire career right now, I guess you could say. It's my entire job. It's how I make all my money. But yet I still don't post Cass on it. It's because we're happy. All the things we do behind closed doors, we don't need to project. And I believe couples that post a lot on social media are projecting, hey, look, we're happy. We're so happy. Chat, put a 1 in the chat right now. Put a 1 in the chat right now. If you know a couple that does this, I'm sure you know somebody on Instagram. I'm sure you know somebody on Facebook that posts so much on Facebook and on social media, posting that their life is just so great, when in reality, you know that they're not that great. You know that they're not that tight. You know that they don't love each other that much. But there's a couple. Everybody knows a couple out there. Everybody knows there's a couple that the woman posts constantly. She's posting her kids, she's posting her husband, but then when you see them out in public, it's like, y'all look dysfunctional. I think it's a thing, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Loki, did you have a good time today? All the way on your place. All the way. Thanks, sir. You got a bath and think you're brand new, still putting your hands on the freaking carpet. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to, oh my God, tongue twister. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Go cop the 2 ebooks, The 4 Pillars of Personality and The 4 Steps of Style. They make you irresistible to women and respected by men. I will see you guys tomorrow, man. Peace.